Hello, my name is Colby Alexander, and today I will be presenting my final project for BDAN513. And my project is titled Predicting Song Popularity. So basically, the goal and motivation of my project is to find out if we can predict a song's popularity score using solely its musical features. This popularity score is going to be on a scale from 0 to 100, 0 being not popular, 100 being the most popular. Why this matters is popularity is a key driver of streaming, marketing, and industry success. The inspiration for me is to find out if we can use machine learning, aka RapidMiner, to uncover patterns between what makes the song resonate with listeners. The challenge here being obviously that popularity is influenced by a number of external factors, whether it be artist fame, promotion, playlist placement, a number of other marketing strategies that are not captured in this data set. So that's important to note, as we are solely wondering whether or not the musical attributes of a song can contribute to the song's popularity. Like I said, the value here, even a partial prediction, can provide insights for artists, producers, and marketers to discover what makes a song popular. This picture I have here is my good friend Isaac, he goes by the alias of the American Don, and he has recently undertaken a music venture and had a couple songs blow up on TikTok and across streaming platforms. And so my thought was, if we can, as he's looking to produce more hit songs, if he can use this model to build songs that are going to guarantee streaming. A little bit about predictive modeling here. It uses machine learning to forecast outcomes, identifies relationships between features and the target variable. The features are the song attributes that I will go over in just a second, and the target variable being the popularity score. We're going to evaluate accuracy with performance metrics. Specifically here, we're going to use a linear regression model, and we are going to look at root mean squared error, the mean average error, and the correlation. And those metrics will give us a good idea of how effective this model is. And if not, hopefully we can answer what attributes of these songs are the most valuable and can predict that popularity score. So step one being the business problem understanding, right? So I've kind of gone over all of this, but we're going to see if we can predict Spotify song popularity using audio and genre features. The goal is to understand whether musical characteristics alone can explain success. And the goal is to gain insights for artists, producers, and streaming platforms. So step two, the goal is data understanding and collection. We downloaded our data set from Kaggle. The data set has 114,000 individual song entries on there. And each song comes with all of these attributes I have listed here. Like I said, our target variable being popularity. So these attributes being duration, danceability, energy, whether the song is explicit or not, loudness, speechiness, acousticness, instrumentalness, liveness, valence, tempo, key, mode, time signature, and genre. And each of these attributes contributes to, all of what makes a song. And so our goal is to find out whether any one of these in particular can make a song be more popular or not. So when we go to here we have our data preparation and feature selection, and this is a picture of the data set. Now I had to go in and remove certain features here that were not going to be used in the model, those being the index, the track ID. I went ahead and had to encode different categories, like whether it was explicit or not, and I'll talk about how I did that in just a second. But I had to remove certain categories here that were not going to contribute to our model. But here, the goal is to take fields such as genre, key, mode, duration, danceability, all of these, and value them so that RapidMiner can take them and use them to predict our popularity. So model development. This is a screenshot from the auto model feature, and so I ran two different models here. I took auto model, and then I ran a manual model, manual process in RapidMiner myself. But as you can see here, with the auto model, I aimed to predict the popularity. I had to prepare my target, and then select the inputs. So like I said, I erased the index, track ID. Album name is not something that would contribute very highly. And so I had to select my inputs, which are each of those attributes that I showed you earlier. With the manual model, here, what the manual model was able to allow me to do that the auto model wasn't is I was able to manually split my data using a 70% training and 30% testing. I was able to select all of the performance metrics that I wanted using that performance attribute. And I was able to use comparison groups to tell the model exactly what certain things were so that they could quantify them for the model. So here is what I gained from the results that the model gave me. So on the auto model side, we have an RMSE of about 19, an MAE of about 14.4, a correlation of 0.5, and a squared error of 360.8, essentially. Now, the manual linear regression, RMSE of 19.4, absolute error of about 14.3, a correlation of about 0.48, and a squared error of 376.588. The auto model, while both of these results are very, very similar, the auto model gave us slightly better results. So I'm going to go into what these mean here in a second. So the RMSE of about 19, this is saying that on average, predictions were off by about 19 popularity points. The MAE is saying that the average error without overemphasizing outliers, we're looking at a fairly high error of 14.4. And the correlation of 0.53 is saying that there's a moderate relationship between between what the model predicted and the actual popularity, but it's nothing significant. This is higher than I would have liked for it to be, but it's saying that it can get within about 19 points of the predicted value. So say that it was predicting, say we were trying to predict a song that is listed as a 73 popularity score. This model could get within 19 points either way of that, which is not super telling as to whether or not the song is actually going to be popular. Now, what is important, okay, so step 6. Model and results communication. So what RapidMiner is able to do is it's able to provide visuals for the model and show that there is a correlation here for sure. You can see each one of those circles being an individual song. There is a correlation, but it is a little too scattered to be effectively used. So if we're looking at our reported results, the metrics like RMSE and MAE do give us a sense of prediction accuracy in real terms between 14 and 19 points either way. The model was able to highlight a lot of the influential attributes, such as danceability, energy, and acousticness being a couple of those that have a high correlation there. And those do have some power to predict whether a song will be popular or not. But those had stronger influence on popularity, whereas something like, album name may not. what the model was able to do is that it explained strengths and limitations. So limitations were emphasized. While musical features matter, much of popularity is driven by external factors like marketing, artist fame, and playlist placement. We knew this going in, but there are a lot of external factors that do contribute to a song's popularity. And this model proved that the musical attributes alone struggle to correctly identify whether a song will be popular or not. So model deployment. There is limited effectiveness with this model. The model's prediction, like I said, can be nearly 20 points away from the actual score, and that is just not a close enough number for reliable deployment of this model. External factors, like I've been saying, popularity is not just about the song features. Artist recognition, marketing efforts, playlist placements, and cultural trends definitely are more important for the actual song to predict the song's popularity. Now, where the model can be deployed is going to be for music marketers and producers to leverage insights into which features, like I said, energy and danceability, to align with higher popularity, guiding creative and promotional strategies. So with all of this data being pulled from Spotify can say, well, if I realize that the energy of this song or the danceability of this song are higher, and that's going to prove higher popularity on the song, maybe we try to push these songs as opposed to this one with lower energy or lower danceability, if those factors do align to popularity. So, for example, I mentioned at the beginning, this is my good buddy Isaac that goes by the alias of the American Dawn, and he has 3 million monthly listeners on Spotify, so he's doing fairly well for himself. His song Her took off with 93 million streams on Spotify currently. It was a TikTok hit over the last year, and he released his second song, The Edge, months later, that has not done as successful as his first song. But going forward, as Isaac continues to pursue his musical career, I was hoping that maybe this model, he would be able to use it for his benefit, and I'm just not entirely sure that he could. But like I was saying, him and these, for Spotify playlist curation, they can take these different attributes, energy, danceability, acousticness, that have those high correlations they can factor those into their own songs, but at the end of the day, the model is just not effective enough for deployment. So if we're looking at our conclusion here, the model finds some patterns in song features, but the errors remain too high for deployment. That moderate correlation just proves to have limited predictive power, and those external factors prove to be a lot more important than the musical attributes themselves. So the model could be useful for insights, but definitely not precise prediction. And that is about all I have for this project. Thank you for listening, and hopefully, somewhere along the line, maybe they will be able to use softwares like RapidMiner to predict song popularity, but that is not going to be today or with this data set. So thank you for your time, and again, my name is Colby Alexander. It's been a pleasure sharing this with you.